Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Gutierrez and I'll be presenting on my co-op experience at Toronto Hydro. So working at Toronto Hydro, I specifically worked in the quality and compliance team. So in the quality and compliance team, we tackled a variety of different tasks. One of the main tasks we were responsible for were quality investigations. So what this involved was whenever a piece of equipment failed in the field, such as a transformer, a switch, or a cable splice, we would get this equipment back from the crew and we would be able to perform an investigation on this. So what we would want to do is find the root cause of the failure, and by doing so we would be able to mitigate some of these issues from happening in the future. In certain cases, it would be a manufacturing defect, so we would be responsible for issuing non-conformance reports to these suppliers, and we would hold them accountable for ensuring that these same issues don't happen again in the future. Another task we were responsible for was receiving inspections. So during receiving inspections, we would primarily perform a visual inspection of the equipment to ensure we were getting a quality product, but we'd also review test reports to ensure that they were meeting the Toronto Hydro and ESA standards. We would also be responsible for issuing various or performing various types of audits, either supplier quality audits, such as auditing the manufacturing process of a certain supplier, or design and construction audits where we would audit our own designs such as drawings and already built construction sites to ensure they matched the ESA standards. We also started expanding our reuse process, so we would use equipment that was at temporary sites that was still in working condition, but these equipment had to be reapproved to be used at another location. The main two that I was involved in, I would say, would be quality investigations and receiving inspections. So in terms of what I learned at Toronto Hydro, I learned a great deal about the electrical distribution system in Toronto and how it is set up in a way to ensure that it is a reliable system. I also learned how to perform equipment failure analysis from initially getting the issue, logging it into a database, getting all the reports and necessary data that we need to perform the investigation, and then solving it and determining the root cause of the failure. I performed a couple of investigations on small tools such as gloves, dead end clamps, so that was a real good learning experience for me. I also learned how to use a lot of new software such as Microsoft Access, which I never used before. So our database was based on Microsoft Access, so I was responsible for maintaining and keeping this up to date for the engineers. I also learned how MicroStation works and how we could use it to create electrical drawings. I also used Alteryx and Tableau to automate some of my tasks. So this was very helpful for me in allowing me to have more time to work on other tasks. I also learned a lot of technical skills in terms of performing equipment teardowns on transformers and some basic testing. I also learned a lot of soft skills such as communication and self-learning and learning how to tackle problems that I've never tackled before and knowing how to find resources that can help me. I also learned how to network with a lot of industry professionals. So transformer testing. So the quality and compliance team did have an engineering lab at our facility which allowed us to perform simple electrical testing and complex teardowns if required. So I will just walk you through how we perform this testing. And in my role, I actually got to perform a lot of these testings, and I did get to learn how the process works. So Toronto Hydro considers safety as paramount. So before we did perform any of this testing, we would complete a tail board in which we would go over all the tasks that we were performing that day, and then we would go into the PPE that was required to ensure that we could perform these tasks safely. So once that was completed, we could then go into the electrical testing. So the main electrical testing that we would complete would be continuity of the transformer, and we would check this using a simple multimeter. We would also do a TTR test, which is a transformer's turns ratio test, to ensure that the turns ratio of the transformer was what the nameplate specified. And we would also check the insulation resistance using a Megger tester. If required, we could do a teardown of the equipment, so that involved taking out the lid and draining the oil and inspecting the internal components of the transformer. And if we did find an issue that we did want to alert the crews of, we did have access to issuing quality alerts to the entire company, and these would be posted online and sent to specific groups that needed to know of this specific issue. So this allowed us to get quality concerns answered quickly. So in terms of my future plans after graduation, I would like to continue in the electrical distribution industry. I truly enjoyed my time at Toronto Hydro and would like to continue working in this industry. So in terms of my capstone project, I actually plan to partner with another student that worked at Toronto Hydro that was in the energy solutions team. And what the main project is that we would like, or Toronto Hydro would like to set up charge stations for vehicles, but they need to evaluate the best way to integrate it into the network and what batteries or energy storage solution would be the best for this project specifically. So we would be evaluating this for them. And I would also like to eventually, after graduation, be part of a new grad program. So Toronto Hydro has a new grad program, and I really like the idea of this because in most of these new grad programs, you get to rotate in a variety of roles in the company. So you get to basically learn a lot more, and then after realize what your true passion is in terms of the company and where you could best be effective of using your skills. So this is something I'd really want to pursue, and eventually I would like to get my PEng